It's amazing how quickly the world is changing, and that's especially true of the automotive industry, driven by environmental concerns and also by customers who want cheaper, more efficient cars. The motor industry is providing us with smaller, more lightweight and more efficient models. The brand new Clio 4 proves that those smaller, more efficient models can be sexy too.
To succeed in the highly competitive B segment for subcompact hatchbacks, the Clio has to be more than pretty though. Technology is becoming a key factor, as is an interior that expresses both space and comfort. But perhaps the most important element, certainly from the cash-strapped South African motorist's perspective, is value for money. The new Clio does pretty well at achieving what is, after all, a challenging balancing act.
The Clio 4 is a real head-turner. It looks glamorous and exotic with an almost organic shape that emphasizes its aerodynamic properties. And remember, this is a budget car.
The Clio 4 model under scrutiny here is the mid-range expression version, but it looks smart and upmarket. There's an aura of aspiration in the way chrome inlays are used in the grille and along the sides, while daytime running lights, bold headlight clusters, the concealed rear door handles and an integrated roof spoiler add further appeal. The design is cohesive, contemporary and ultimately striking.
The premium image of the Clio 4 is carried through into the interior, and there's a real sense of tactile quality here, together with some very clever packaging. We particularly like the colour touchscreen display and the way the instruments have been kept very simple. Ergonomically, a nice and comfortable drive, good space at the rear, and the 300-litre boot adds a good sense of practicality as well.
Expressing strong value is the extended list of standard equipment. Of particular note is the colour touchscreen display, which acts as the control centre for many of the car's systems, including the integrated navigation, the multi-speaker sound system, and Bluetooth-based telephony and audio streaming. The Clio 4 Expression is also fitted with cruise control, a speed limiter and keycard-based central locking, while safety is comprehensively addressed with front and side airbags, ABS brakes and electronic stability control. The little hatchback has a 5-star Euro NCAP safety rating.
This particular model is the 1.0 Expression, but if you think that this is a 1-litre engine, you'd be wrong. In fact, the engine size here is only 900cc. But don't be discouraged. It also has variable valve timing and a low inertia turbocharger. The result, 66 kilowatt of maximum power and 135 newton meters of torque. Very respectable figures indeed. The gearbox, a 5-speed manual driving, of course, the front wheels.
The high-tech engine's gruff sound is strangely charming, and the car pulls strongly, even though there is some lag at the very bottom of the rev range. It's a good example of how effective a sophisticated, small-capacity turbo engine can be, and it certainly points towards the motoring future.
For a generously proportioned B-segment car, a 900cc engine sounds inadequate, to be honest. But in real terms, the car feels peppy and alive. 0 to 100 time just in the 12-second region, top speed 185 kilometers an hour. And of course, this car extremely frugal as well, much more tractable than you'd think, and generally a pleasure to drive.
However, the Clio isn't quite as sprightly once it's carrying 4 occupants and a boot full of luggage. Low-down lag becomes more apparent and in-gear tractability suffers. Even so, the dynamics are impressive, and that also goes for ride and handling. A finely tuned chassis offers both comfort and response, together with enough feedback to make it fun to drive. The real benefit of a small engine is reduced fuel consumption. Renault claims 4.5 litres per 100 kilometers for the combined cycle.
It's going to take a while for South Africans to get used to small-capacity turbocharged engines powering their mainstream cars. But our experience with the Clio 4 proves that these cars can be nippy, can be tractable, and certainly frugal at the fuel pump too. Given that the pricing of the Clio starts at about 150,000 Rand, we're pretty sure that value for money will come into play as well.
That price refers to the entry-level Authentique, while this Expression costs 180,000 Rand, but it's still a good deal. It might be small, but the Clio 4's 900cc engine is lusty, lively and economical. It always feels more willing than the figures suggest. A supple chassis, good spec and arresting styling are further pluses, but bottom-end lag becomes obvious under load, and while the price reflects value, it's not cheap.